Hello, friends. This is Giuliano. It is a Sunday. It's the 24th of April, 2022. As a BTC price chart update, sharing the screen, we're going to jump into a daily price chart and discuss some time frames and some levels and what is the general possibility of what's happening currently and how is that playing along with what we've been considering this entire time. Now, we've been considering a flat pattern, okay, on the macro level, A, B, and C. We haven't understood where this C will end or how, but it's looking closer and closer to this time frame, and I'll get into that. Now, it was unclear that this whole thing would be a fourth wave, but it eventually ends up that time and price wise, it relates and can be entirely a fourth wave. It allows the fourth wave to further trade within the first wave, making this a candidate for a terminal impulse. Now, we won't go into that too far. We just want to discuss a few of these factors here relating to where we are now and where we might be going. But first, okay, let's just continue with that discussion about this fourth wave, just to confirm, because the size of the fourth wave in price and in time looks a lot bigger than the second wave. But when we measure it, wave 2 here is actually 61.8% the price of wave 4 from here to here. And wave 2 is actually more than a third of the time of the fourth wave. So it's a third of the time of the fourth wave, meaning the fourth wave is not more than 3 times bigger than the second wave. So they're relatable. And also, in terms of the fourth wave compared to the third wave, it's also less, the fourth wave is less than 3 times as big. It's about, like if we ended around here, it's about 2 to 2.618 times as big. Okay, so that's within the range as well. So this could totally be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 5th wave. So what distance might the 5th wave go in price? We're looking potentially around the 61 to 78.6% of the third wave. So if we go this third wave here, and we extend it from the beginning of this 5th wave here, then we're looking at this zone here being the top at 61.8% of this third wave from here, and the lower end being 78.6% of the third wave from here. So this zone is between the lower end, about 33.5 towards 36.5. And yeah, so that's that. Now, on a daily basis here, it looks like we've broken down this uptrending support line. Let's see how it works. We are at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. Is it flattening and going to come up a bit higher before coming back down? We'll see. Doesn't necessarily matter. The general idea is we're looking to end in this range. Now, if we bring back the 61.8% line to finish this pattern as a C failure and finish it around the 61.8% of the A wave. So if we take this A wave, 61.8% is around here. So we'll see what this means. This could be a low, but the overall pattern finishes higher. That's whatever, not necessarily important, because even if it finishes down here, the sense is that it can't go more than 1-to-1 of this third wave. Otherwise, we're invalidating this whole pattern as an impulse move. You can't have the third wave being the smallest, considering that it's just a bit smaller than the first. So this 5th wave can't be bigger than the third. So it would have to be somewhere around here to be some sort of reasonable proportion. Now, the other thought is that, okay, we have this uptrending support line, but ultimately it's going to be irrelevant in terms of, it's the horizontal zone that's going to be more considerable here. And of course, they confluence a bit. So we'll see what happens anyway. Ultimately, though, yeah, you're breaking down this trend line. So we'll see how it interacts in the coming days. But overall, we're looking for lower levels. We'll see how this Bollinger Band, lower end of the Bollinger Band plays out. We've seen big wicks below the lower end of the Bollinger Band before. So it's totally possible to wick down to these levels. What else? Yeah, then we talk about time and we look at some possible endings. So if we take a shorter local time frame scenario, we'll take this C wave here. We'll take the whole C wave here and we'll say, okay, we compare, let's say, the first wave and the third wave. We add those together and we see if that will equal the fifth wave, because the first and third are very similar in time. And so we compare those to the fifth, which would be different than them. And then we would get right here, wave 1 plus wave 3 equals wave 5. And that is about 52 days long from the beginning of wave 5, the top here. And that brings us to the end of May 20th is the time frame that we get there. And then if we do another version of time analysis, and instead we take the third wave and the fourth wave, they're much different from each other. We take third wave and fourth wave and divide that by 2 to get the length of the fifth wave potentially. That brings us here to May 14th. So if we were to take 3 plus 4, we can use our time tool just as an example, 3 and 4. So we stop about here and boom, 50% is the yellow line, and that lines up nicely with where we've got the wave 3 plus 4 divided by 2 equals May 14. Okay, that's here. So it's very close to each other, whether we take 1 plus 3 equals 5, and it's around May 20, or 3 plus 4 divided by 2 equals May 15. Now, around this time, there's also going to be a lot of fundamental news coming. So is it possible that actually all of this is going to signal a dump further down and we're breaking all of this and none of this is valid? Yes, that's the other possibility. Okay, so this is possible. None of this is valid and we're not in a flat pattern, and this is not an impulse pattern here. Even if it's a terminal impulse, it's not an impulse pattern. And instead it's some sort of corrective pattern, and we're in a bigger move and possibly a bigger down move. But that's not the sense that I'm getting. So far, we're still looking like flat pattern. And in that sense, if we look at macro time frame, the macro A here plus B here. So the macro A plus B. Oops, that's not what we want. On this macro, let's say we start here, right? A plus B equals C. And that brings us here. That brings us to June 6th, June 8th, depending on like exactly what the day I didn't do that exactly perfectly. So if we want to do that more perfectly, we can. Let's do it. We'll go high to high, because with time we can rely on that. So we take high to high. A plus B equals C. Yeah, June 8th probably is where it is. Yeah, 8th of June to be more specific. And on the weekly, when we take A plus B equals C, it brings us to 6th of June, the week of 6th of June. So I think this is generally a strong confluence time frame, okay, where down up equals down, A plus B equals C. And so we're there on a macro level. It's around 8th of June. Locally, we're looking at the end of May. So this is a nice zone for things to be finishing up and then to go into the next move higher, because we would be finishing the bigger macro pattern and we'd be continuing. We're considering this continuation and we continue higher. Okay. All right, so I think that's generally it. I don't have a specific level or zone that I think, other than right here, this would be the most clean scenario. And in this time frame would be the most clean scenario. So yeah, watch out for it. Let's see how this works. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting at what it ends up looking like. And on the weekly, we've got some more time. It looks like that it needs to play out based on these candlesticks here. I mean, this 3 in a row red, we could have had a green and, you know, close up here or even just above, but like above the where it is now, at least give some sort of green body, but it got nothing. I mean, you know, they could definitely turn green by the end of the day. We still have 3.5 hours, okay? And it's the final day for the week to close. So yeah, you could have a green candle, but it's quite a weak green candle. And so yeah, it looks like there's more time on the weekly scale to chop through here and finish off the pattern and then move higher. Yeah, this is overall looking good, and I'm very excited to see how we finish it off. So stick around for more. That's it for the BTC price chart update. I hope it's been helpful for you. Let's see what ends up happening, okay? All right, until next time, wishing you well, wishing you all kinds of love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.